Yeah. Hi, Kevin. Hey, Kev. How you going, man? Are you at work or is it convenient
Yeah, it's
or
fine.
not? All right.
Oh,
So when I was on the stream earlier on, I looked like, because I think, Graham, you mentioned three accusers now. So that means that my discernment is in question, my judgment is in question because, because obviously there's more accusations flying his way. And for some reason, inadvertently, that puts me in a firing line where my discernment and my judgment is in question. So I just wanted to have a quick chat, if that's okay, Kevin.
all right.
Well, Kevin and I aren't accusing you, Jace. What I actually said was three witnesses. Well, I probably said three accusers, but I
Yes,
mean
you
in the
did.
sense of accusers against Exo rather than you. So Kelvy's, as far as I can tell, upset with you, but I don't think Kevin or I are.
Yeah, it's more to do with, if there's, three accusers now. There was one accuser before, now there's three accusers.
Yes.
And that's what was said. But this is all stems back to that conversation on the Good News on Bill's channel. Is that correct?
Yeah, so apparently Justin said that EXO must be getting his information from the news. And because Justin said that, EXO accused him of being a Satanist and a false accuser because he says he doesn't get his information from the news. And I had to listen to the whole conversation. So in context, when I asked EXO, why did you call Justin a Satanist? Then he immediately went on the text saying, I'm a Satanist and an LGBT fag, he called me.
I've been
Because I'm
looking.
defending my Satanist friend, and I was asking him why he called Justin a Satanist. He immediately went on the attack, and I asked him, "What is the gospel? Can you please tell me what the gospel is?" And he quotes, he says, "Love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength, and love your neighbor as yourself." So EXO doesn't even know what the gospel is. There's no way he's a Christian.
Well, we know that is part of the gospel.
No, it's not.
Okay, do you want to know do you want me to share the gospel?
That was Jesus.
What I think the
Jesus
gospel is?
wrapping up the commandments. That has nothing to do with the gospel.
Okay, do you want to share what I think the gospel is, just quickly? Would you like to hear? Because I don't even think you know my position.
You go, Jace.
Okay, the gospel of the good news, right? It's about the one true God, the Elohim. He's the creator of all things. He sent his son, God in the flesh, to die on a cross, that whoever believes in him will have remission of sins. He died for the sins of the whole world. So whoever believes shall not perish, but will have everlasting life. Now, to love your neighbor as yourself, and to love the Lord your God with all your heart, mind, soul, and strength. By doing those two things, you're actually that is the witness of the good news. So I don't believe XO was wrong in saying that. I believe that is how we're to conduct ourselves, and by fulfilling those two laws that Jesus Christ spoke in the gospel, in his word, is extremely important, and that it encompasses all else as well, everything else as well. Sorry?
No one loves the Lord their God with all their heart, soul, mind, and strength. And no one loves their neighbor as himself. No one does that.
Okay, but Jesus made a command. He actually.
Hang on. Can I pause it for a second? Because
Sure.
I want you to understand.
I don't want us to go
point.
off track. Yeah.
I want you to understand Kevin's point, Jason. I completely agree with Kevin's point, and I think you're missing the point. Is that all EXO said was, love the Lord your God with all of your heart and soul and mind and strength, and love your neighbor as yourself. And he said, that's the gospel. That's not the gospel.
You know what? I'm not saying that's it. I've just shared the gospel. I'm saying what he said is our witness, okay?
That's all not the discussion. The discussion is that EXO gave a false gospel.
I don't believe he actually shared the whole gospel. I mean, he encompassed two requirements.
He didn't share any of it.
No, he wasn't talking to you. He was clearly disturbed, and obviously he felt like you went in there quite aggressive, Kevin. you wanted
No,
to.
that's not true. I asked him, I said, Exo, I have a question for you. Why did you call Justin a Satanist? And then he
Okay.
immediately went on the attack.
Yeah,
You can go back and rewatch
I
it.
think I remember that. I was watching it. I think I was probably recording it. I heard all that stuff.
Yeah.
XO is toxic. Jace is a big supporter of XO. They go back a few years, I think.
What gave you the impression that Kevin was aggressive?
No. He went when he went in there, and I mean that was a pretty, just a statement to make right there. Is why did you, call him a Satanist?
Well, if he did do, then he's asking why. He's asking for clarification, Jace.
No, Trace,
Yeah,
that's not a statement. That's a question. That's asking a question. Why would you assume that's aggressive?
Why did you call someone a Satanist?
Yeah, that's a question. He called someone a Satanist, and he's asking a question. Why did you call him a Satanist? Why would you assume that's aggressive? That's just asking a question.
Well, yeah, okay. So, Kevin, why do you think that he called him a Satanist? I mean, do you agree with XO or not?
Whether I agree or not is irrelevant. I just asked him, why did you call him a Satanist? Now, all he had to do was explain why. He didn't have to immediately go on the attack and then accuse me of being a Satanist and an LGBTQ supporter and calling me gay. And then he called me a bitch.
So okay, I heard that. So I did hear that. Are you backing up that guy? I mean, clearly the guy doesn't understand what 1 John 2:15 says. If he's going to say he can't understand why people hate America, I mean, really? I mean, why would you want to even defend that? I mean, obviously he's defending this Babylon empires that are all rising up all over the world.
America is not the Babylon Empire. It's a part of it. I would say that America is basically a country that is run by Catholics, the Vatican. There's plenty of reasons to believe that, evidentially. But not every American is Catholic. The whore of Babylon is the Roman Catholic so-called church, Jace. Not America. It's one tentacle of it, but
World, these
America,
nations, these nations that clearly are working against God in their system and a rebellion against Him. I listened to that guy.
I don't understand, Jace. I don't understand what's happening here. America is not just an evil nation. America is also one of the greatest missionary sending countries in our world today. It's one of the sources of the greatest Bible teachers in our world today. America is really two nations at the same time. One of them is the height of...
I would disagree with the bit about American preachers. I'm not too impressed, to be honest. There have been, unfortunately, well, I say unfortunately, they've passed away. They're in heaven with the Lord, or they're awaiting the resurrection. They're saved, but they've passed away. Dave Hunt. Some people don't like Chuck Missler, but he passed away, and his wife, unfortunately. There's very few so-called American pastors that I would give any time to. Maybe Sam Gipp. Vernon McGee, he's passed away. I don't think America is any sort of great evangelistic nation, really. It is not the last bastion of Christianity. That's one thing for sure.
of paganism, and is one of the most disgusting nations on the face of the earth. But there is another America, but that's only one of the
I've had enough of this anyway.